Week 6 of the 2023 NFL regular season is right around the corner, and we're so excited to bring you another weekly predictions video here on Touchdown Kingdom. If you're new to the channel, please make sure you're subscribed so you can stay up to date on all of the latest and greatest NFL content. As always, please hit that like button if you enjoyed the video, but more importantly, don't forget to leave your predictions in the comments below. Let's get right into it. The proud sponsor of today's video here on Touchdown Kingdom is BetUS. Now, if you haven't heard of BetUS, they are one of the leading platforms for online betting, offering a wide range of sports betting and casino games. They have an incredible variety of betting options on a ton of different sports. You can do so much on BetUS, including pregame bets, parlay live bets, and player prop bets. BetUS is offering a 125% sign-up bonus when you click the link in the description. For example, if you made an account and deposited $100, BetUS will give you $225 to play with on their site. For any questions, check out any of the BetUS customer support options through live chat, email, and phone support. So please visit BetUS, sign up using the link in the description, and start betting on your favorite sports and games today. Up first, we have the Denver Broncos at the Kansas City Chiefs. Denver is coming off of another loss, this time to Zach Wilson and the New York Jets. The Broncos' defense has been brutal, and while they're able to score points on offense, it hasn't been enough to put together a good start to the season. The Chiefs should walk all over this mess of a Broncos team. Chiefs win 35-17. Moving on to the Ravens at the Titans. Both teams are coming off of losses in Week 5 and will be looking to rebound here in Week 6. The Ravens had a very ugly game on offense, mainly due to dropped passes. They whiffed on too many opportunities and only came away with 10 points against a good Steelers defense. I like the Ravens to get back on track with a win against an inferior Titans team. Ravens win 24-18. Up next, we have the Carolina Panthers at the Miami Dolphins. The Panthers are still looking for their first win on the year and now have the unfortunate job of going down to Miami to play the Dolphins on the road. The Dolphins have a top offense in football, and the Panthers' defense is just simply not good enough to keep up with Tua and Tyreek. The Dolphins should take care of business. Miami wins 34-21. Our next game takes us to Houston, where the Texans are set to take on the Saints. After winning 2 in a row and impressing lots of people around the league, the Texans were unable to overcome Atlanta in Week 5. CJ Stroud still looks great overall and has yet to throw an interception on the year, but he'll have a challenge against the Saints defense, who just shut down Bill Belichick's Patriots by a score of 34-0. The Saints are the better team once again this week, and I like them to get a road win against the Texans. Saints win 24-17. Moving on to the Washington Commanders at the Atlanta Falcons. The Falcons beat the Texans last week, while the Commanders took a shocking loss to the Bears, giving Chicago their first win on the year. The Washington defense failed to show up and allowed one of the worst offenses in football to score 40 points. And this week, they'll be challenged yet again against a Falcons offense that has been more dynamic than people thought they'd be heading into the year. With that being said, I still like the Commanders to bounce back and get a road win this week. Their defense needs to have a big day, and they'll get the W. Washington wins 23-20. Next up, we have the Colts at the Jaguars. The Jaguars are back in the U.S. after going 2-0 on their London road trip. This was much needed for the Jags, whose season was getting off to a rocky start before heading overseas for those 2 weeks. The Jaguars are a better team than Indianapolis overall, but the Colts have played better than expected this year. Unfortunately for the Colts, they'll be missing quarterback Anthony Richardson, who's dealing with a shoulder injury. I think Richardson is the missing piece that the Colts would need to beat Jacksonville, and for that reason, I have the Jags winning 27-21. Moving on to the Seattle Seahawks at the Cincinnati Bengals. The Bengals got a desperately needed win against the Cardinals last week, but their season is still in jeopardy. Joe Burrow is coming off his best game of the year, but will have a tough time dealing with the Seahawks defense, who have played some really solid football in 2023. The Seahawks also happen to be coming off of a bye week and will be well rested as they head to Cincinnati. This should be a fun game to watch between two surprisingly evenly matched teams. Ultimately, I like the Bengals to come out on top in a close game. Bengals win 24-21. Up next, we have an NFC North matchup between the Minnesota Vikings and Chicago Bears. The Vikings' struggles on the season continued last week as they failed to overcome the Chiefs in what was actually a close contest. Meanwhile, the Bears got their first win of the year, and shockingly, these two teams now have the same record. The Bears have the momentum heading into this divisional matchup, and I like them to stack up another win at home, especially with Vikings stud wide receiver Justin Jefferson due to miss at least 4 weeks with an injury. I like the Bears to get another sneaky win, 25-20. Moving on to the San Francisco 49ers at the Cleveland Browns. San Francisco continues their unbeaten run to start the year, and they really do look like the most complete team in football. They have so many different ways that they can beat you, and they have a plethora of different players that are deadly with the football in their hands. They're firing on all cylinders and are playing well on both sides of the ball. The Browns are definitely a good team, but simply not as good as the 49ers. While I think this game could be close, I like San Francisco to come out with the W. Niners win 28-20. Next, we have the New England Patriots at the Las Vegas Raiders. The Raiders managed to beat the Packers last week, but it was mainly thanks to Jordan Love's 3 interceptions. While they're not a good team overall, the Raiders should definitely beat the Patriots, who have been outscored by a score of 72-3 in their last 2 games. The Patriots dynasty has certainly come to a crashing end, and there are question marks all throughout the organization. From the quarterback to the coordinators and even the head coach Bill Belichick, the Patriots look like one of the worst teams in football, and the Raiders should definitely win this week. Vegas gets the W, 16-10. Moving on to the Lions at the Buccaneers. The Bucs are well rested coming off of a bye week, but are faced with the tough task of taking on the Detroit Lions. Detroit is 4-1, and they're officially being taken seriously as a franchise after literal decades of horrible play. Like I said, the Bucs are well rested, but the Lions are red hot. I like Detroit to get a feel-good win on the road this week against a solid Bucs team. Lions win 26-22. Up next, we have the Cardinals at the Rams. The Cardinals have played beyond their expectations this year, but their expectations were as low as can be. The Rams haven't played terribly overall, but they are not the Rams that won the Super Bowl a few years back. The Rams might be better than the Cardinals, but I don't trust them this week. I smell an upset. I like the Cardinals to get the W on the road in a super tight game, 24-23. Moving on to the Philadelphia Eagles at the New York Jets. The Jets season has some life after they beat Denver, but now they're faced with taking on the 5-0 Eagles, a team that they've yet to beat in the history of the franchise. Unfortunately for New York, I don't think their bad luck against Philly will change this time around. The Eagles are just simply the better team with the better quarterback, and while the Jets defense continues to play very good football, I don't think they'll be able to keep up with Jalen Hurts and the Eagles offense. Eagles win 27-17. The New York Giants are heading up to Buffalo to take on the Bills on Sunday Night Football. The Giants look like the current worst team in the NFL. Their offensive line has been abysmal, Daniel Jones seems to be regressing, and there are huge question marks surrounding head coach Brian Daboll in his second year and his abilities to lead his team and demand accountability for poor play. Meanwhile, the Bills are coming off of a bad loss to Jacksonville and will be starving for an easy W against a way inferior Giants team. This should be a walk in the park for the Bills at home. Bills win big, 31-10. And for the final matchup of Week 6, we have the Dallas Cowboys heading out west to take on the LA Chargers on Monday Night Football. The Cowboys got exposed last week and played terribly against an elite 49ers team. Quarterback Dak Prescott only had 1 interception heading into last week's game, but managed to throw 3 this time around against San Francisco, and now sits at 4 on the year. He needs to get his season back on track with a W against the Chargers, who are coming off of a bye week. Justin Herbert is the better quarterback, but Dallas is still the better roster overall. Their defense needs to have a big day against the high-flying Chargers offense. I like the Cowboys to get back on track this week and come home from Cali with a W. Dallas wins 24-21. That wraps up another video here on Touchdown Kingdom. Thank you guys so much for watching. As always, please make sure you're subscribed so you don't miss any uploads. Smash that like button if you enjoyed the video, and most importantly, leave your thoughts and your predictions in the comments below. We'll see you in the next video. Peace.